the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. You're listening to episode number 30. This show, we talk about things like comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, and everyone's favorite political discourse. I'm your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello.
How are you, Midget Radio?
I'm doing well-ish, Tactic Angel. How are you?
Why ish?
Ish? I don't know, man. Because work has been, hard. I'm drinking the Tullamore Dew tonight.
Nice.
Because work has been
I've got
shitty lately.
Nice glass of Elijah Craig.
I don't know what that is.
It's Canadian whiskey. We talk about this.
Canadian whiskey?
Yeah. It's good.
Are there recordings of us talking about this?
Yes, because you ask, how many years is it? And I go, I don't know. And the answer is 8.
I dispute.
It says 8
their
on the front.
Authenticity. I don't recall these conversations at all.
I think sometimes if you drink too much, you forget.
That's possible.
And that has happened. That has happened
at least 30 times now.
So we'll see if either of us want to drink to forget this episode. We only have one topic this week, and that is yet another TV show based on comic books.
What?
The Defenders. So a few years ago, we all heard about this strange team up between Marvel and Netflix. The deal was that Netflix would produce 4 TV shows based on street level superheroes. Superheroes. I guess they're all kind of super. And then follow that up with a mini-series mashup. Over the following 2 years, we've all had the pleasure of seeing 2 seasons of Daredevil, had to suffer through a season of Iron Fist, and just sort of watched Luke Cage and Jessica Jones stumble through 1 season each. What?
Luke Cage.
Do you have a problem with my lead-in?
Far superior show to Jessica Jones, which had so much potential but was squandered.
They both kind of stumbled, and they suffered from somewhat similar themes. But we'll get more into that, I'm sure.
Okay.
So we've watched The Defenders. We've seen the whole thing.
Yep.
Midget Radio. First impressions.
Whew, already. Geez. I mean, overall, I dug it. I thought, I guess my overall impression is that it was not, mind-blowing. It wasn't as, stupendous as, its clear sort of analog, the first Avengers movie, when you first see all of these people together all at once. And Avengers kind of blew it out of the water. And this, I thought, Defenders, 8 episodes. One, I feel like it was definitely the right number of episodes. But 2, I mean, in large part, I liked it. I mean, I thought it was generally pretty serviceable all around, and did a pretty good job at making the characters feel consistent from their solo series. It didn't feel like there were any radical changes or anything like that. It felt like everybody kind of retained the voice they had developed in their own series.
I can agree with some of the things that you said.
What were your impressions, Tactic Angel?
So I kind of feel like this show suffers from the same thing that has kind of been a problem with everything except for Daredevil.
Okay.
Which is, it kind of feels like they're like, we're going to order a series. And they're like, okay, how many episodes do you need? I'm thinking 13. And then they're like, okay, well, I've got at least 4 hours of content here. So we'll just spread that nice and thin.
Yeah.
It'll be good to go. In this case, it was 8. And I was really with it in the beginning, and it's a little bit early in the podcast for this, but I was really into it at the beginning, and then it kind of tapered off for me, and for me it ended really with more of a fizzle than anything else. I do agree that the characters were pretty consistent with their individual solo performances, seasons, series, whatever. I think some of that is that some of the characters are consistently inconsistent, and we'll probably talk more about that. But
Okay.
there wasn't a lot of stuff that happened that was like, huh, what? I do have to say, I really like Jessica Jones in this.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Yeah.
I feel like definitely Matt Murdock and Jessica Jones bear a lot of the weight of this.
Yeah.
Because, and it might be just that they have more entertaining and better written interactions with each other, and that each of them probably, Kristen Ritter and Guy Man
Charlie
Face.
Cox. Yeah.
Yeah,
Charlie
that's right.
Cox is Daredevil.
It was right there. I think they're both probably a little bit more professional, a little bit better practiced actors than either Mike Coulter or Finn Jones, for sure.
Yeah, I have something to say about that, but yeah, I wouldn't dispute that too strongly.
I think they also probably benefited. Part of it's probably that even though Jessica Jones gets like really down in the, they wasted a bunch of time. She was at least very consistent in that TV show. I don't think that certainly not Iron Fist, and to a smaller degree, I don't think that even Luke Cage were as consistently written, even in their own series. So I don't think either of those actors had quite the advantage that Daredevil and Jessica Jones ended up with, which probably helped too. And they just get better dialogue. So whatever.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and I would love to see. I like the Jessica Jones and Daredevil dynamic itself in this series was one of the more entertaining aspects for me. I personally I enjoyed, because like Matt Murdock's just dedication to a kind of professional courtesy when he's interacting with other people, particularly with Jessica Jones, and for him to just for her to just take that and shit all over his face at every opportunity. It's endlessly entertaining to me.
It really is.
So yeah, I mean,
I think she says at some point, you need to take a step back and examine how fucked up that statement is. Yeah. And it's just like, oh man, I love you.
Yeah, they're absolutely the strongest characters out of this bunch, and they have the most entertaining relationship. I think in part because of that. So yeah, I mean, largely the characterization is is probably the big standout for this series. I mean, I was okay with the plot line, and I've seen more than one review that kind of felt like it started off strong and then ended pretty much with a fizzle, more or less like what you essentially said. I didn't necessarily feel that way, but I'm starting to feel a little outnumbered on that. So
yeah, I don't think this is going to be that Dark Knight Rises moment where the rest of the internet's wrong, until they eventually seem to be slowly coming around to the position that movie was shit.
Yeah.
That's
And I've
weird.
seen a little bit of a
weird.
a little bit of a turnaround on Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as well, a little bit lately, which is nice because it's not.
It's nice that the universe keeps affirming our rightness.
Right. It just takes it a while to catch up to the Wednesday Night Gentleman.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
And as long as they can stay in our area, they should be good.
Absolutely. But I don't know, like other sort of basic stuff, stuff we always talk about. I wasn't real high on any particular fight scene in the entire series, except for maybe, I mean, the one at the end was pretty decent, like in the caves and stuff. But other than that, I mean, there really wasn't anything like Daredevil level, holy fuck, that's an amazing scene. Nothing like that.
Yeah. I agree, and I also disagree. So here we go.
Okay.
I actually think the most entertaining fight was probably the first one that they have in the office building,
In the hall, yeah.
sorted
okay.
together. I liked that one because there was more stuff going on, and actually it was weird because Iron Fist was carrying most of the action there. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind Danny Rand as long as he's punching people and not talking.
Yeah.
And there were some things that I liked. I liked that Luke Cage gets his ass handed to him a few times because it makes me think,
Yeah.
this is great.
Yeah.
He'll have to entertain me somehow now
Yeah.
instead of just being like, yeah, hit me with a car, hit me with a truck.
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
stand here. Yeah, I appreciated that as well. I thought they struck like a nice balance with that. So yeah, it's nice to see him fucking fall over every once in a while.
Yeah, and it's also nice that it isn't at the hands of, magic bullets.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is made of science magic, and it hurts him.
Yeah. Oh, science magic. My only weakness.
Shit. Everybody's weak to science magic. So, like, that was good. For me, the fight scene at the end, like, the whole thing kind of felt... I was thinking about it, actually, when we wrote up that script, and I put DBZ and drew a line to the end. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm starting to see the weakness of that as,
Yeah.
as a writing style.
I think what I enjoyed about it was the one camera shot that floated in between each of the individual defenders as they were fighting off one person or another. I liked the camera movement through that scene more than anything else, like even more than necessarily the actual fight choreography.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like some of the fight choreography in here is pretty lazy. So by the time I got to that end, I was thinking, yeah, I've seen a lot of this before. Whatever.
Yeah, it's passable, but yeah,
there is a lot of punching.
yeah, yeah,
Could have used more found objects, spent weapons, etc.
yeah,
And that's probably one of the reasons why I like the fight in the office more, because you do have a mixture of actual lethal weapons. You have non-lethal weapons being used in ways, and then you have just your ordinary good old prop-driven kung fu happening.
yes, yeah.
So that's kind of where I was at.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
I think soundtrack wise, this kind of felt like signing into Pandora and saying,
Yeah.
just play any random song.
Yeah, there was, which is too bad. I mean, because certainly Cage had a very distinct musical signature in his series, and then Danny Rand with the fucking hip hop katas all the time, and you get basically a little taste of that here and there, and that's really
it
about
did kind of feel like random. It felt, because I feel like they said, well, this is the music from Daredevil, and this is the music from Jessica Jones, and this is the music from Luke Cage, this is the music from Iron Fist, and then we'll probably give Sigourney Weaver some music too.
Yeah.
And then, when they're on the screen, just play whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah. Definitely no real overarching theme, no connective tissue, I guess. It did just feel kind of scattershot.
All right.
I have a question for you that I think we can ask
go for it.
pre-spoiler section. Do you feel personally that Danny Rand's character is in any way redeemed from Iron Fist season 1?
I found him a lot less annoying.
Okay.
So in the sense that is a step forward. Yes. And then at the same time, it's like Danny Rand is still the irrational
Yeah.
weapon idiot whatever, just flying through life on the whipping winds of his emotion. And it's just like if you we're going to talk about this, but the way that he contributes towards the final resolution of this is an infuriatingly dumb thing.
I agree.
To have happen. But then at the same time, like Danny's youthful optimism and his I hate to say it, he has a little bit of Spider-Man in him in this because like you'll see people or Daredevil uses one of his gadgets and Danny's like, that is so cool.
Yeah.
And it's so like that's fun, and the way that he's not charismatic, but there's a certain charm to him in that he's like, I'm a child, mommy and daddy want a divorce, but damn it, if some sort of thing won't keep us together for at least 8 episodes. This is in the diner scene mostly. The Chinese diner, where he basically, it's really his position that keeps or helps cement the defenders together, which is weird. Weird. Yeah. You have any other questions that I can answer before?
No. My short answer to that question though is no. And yes, he sucks just as badly as he ever has.
I disagree. Midget Radio on a 5-point old school Netflix scale.
Old school.
What would you have clicked on Netflix?
I guess I'll probably stick at a solid 3.
I'm gonna go with a 2.
All right.
I'm not resolving this against any of the other things that I've seen, and some of this is probably just my frustration that's like slowly boiling over for kind of the why does all of this suck more than it needs to? Why do people keep doing dumb shit?
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's actually a whole lot more infuriating than Jessica Jones, and I'm not sure if I gave Jessica Jones a higher score, or actually I don't think we were even a thing when that came out. But no, we weren't.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then like Luke Cage. Luke Cage is arguably maybe a better show than this, kind of, sometimes.
Say for sure, but yeah.
But then again, it has just a ridiculous resolution, which is almost completely ignored in this. And then, Daredevil's amazing.
Yes.
So in the sense that this is holding up me being able to just watch season after season after season of Daredevil and The Punisher, then I am a little bit sad.
Yeah.
But we'll get more into that now. We're going to talk about spoilers. Spoilers!
All right. I'm ready.
Oh, I don't have any questions.
Oh, there's no questions? Okay.
Here we go.
So I really enjoyed, I actually really dug the development of the hand. So we find out that,
are you fucking kidding me?
I'm totally on board with it.
The entire season thinking, holy God, I hope they just kill them all because I never want to see the hand.
I love the fucking hand. I love that Alexandra is practically immortal. I love that there are 5 members who each have their own organizations, and I love that their entire goal is essentially to combat death and live forever. I was completely behind all of that. Completely.
Okay.
Totally into it.
So, did you feel like this season or this miniseries or whatever you want to call it took a turn when all of a sudden Sigourney Weaver is dead?
Oh yeah, that was a little bit of
Elektra
a surprise.
out of the blue. What the fuck?
So, all right, maybe this is part of the issue. I love Elektra so much. In Daredevil season 2, she exceeded my expectations, and I fell completely in love with her. So, she can do whatever she wants, and I will essentially support the decision.
She can do no wrong. Okay, so
Basically.
we have acknowledged that now your ability to review this is a little bit impacted because you're not using any sense. You're just like, Elektra, it's good.
What does sense have to do with Elektra? Nothing. She's
I don't
just
know. I kind of
raw.
I liked Sigourney Weaver.
I did too.
And like I was just disappointed all of a sudden. Maybe Elektra was a little bit weirded out and put off by Alexandra giving her the side eye.
Yeah.
The entire. Now is that wrong?
Oh, that's a
Is
good
it wrong?
question. I don't know.
Because like
I
last
feel
year,
like Elektra, it just doesn't matter, right? Because
because all of her decisions are okay. So
maybe with Elektra, it's more understandable.
Sigourney Weaver is 67.
Yeah, but
And-
it's Elektra, right?
And Elodie Young is 36.
Yeah. That's a huge difference. But then you're like, I mean, it's Ellie. I just feel like there's a part of me that's sympathetic to basically maybe any human being who can't hold on to like a sort of rational sensibility when confronted with Elektra. So, you know, I'm just going to say I understand and I sympathize. That's all.
All right. We're probably going to have to call this episode Midget Radio Excuses.
Midget Radio. Yeah. Anyway.
So I think that's when the series kind of was a little bit of a bridge too far for me. I was 100% like, wow, they're doing a really pretty good job, even though there's a couple of really cringy parts in the first 3 episodes. But through 3 episodes, I was enjoying myself.
Yeah.
For sure. I was even impressed that we were like, are we really going to spend an entire episode in this diner?
Yeah. I like that too. Yeah.
And then it turns out, I don't feel like the pace after that at any point picked up though. And because like, I'm okay if you have that slow episode where it's like, would you like to sit at the table in exposition with me?
Yeah.
And they're like, yes, of course.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Jessica Jones solving the architect stuff. You're like, this is,
yeah.
I mean, thank God she's trying to solve
Oh my God.
case.
I know.
But then at the same time, it's like, she's not doing a really bang up job here. It just kind of feels like she's walking around and things are falling into her lap. And then she's like, maybe I should go talk to that person again.
Yeah.
It's like,
I kind of like that for her character, though. It's almost like she has to be a little bit compelled to do the things she's supposed to be doing. And so if it's fate, maybe a little bit, it makes it harder for her to be like, fuck it, I don't care.
NPC quests where I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. I act exactly like Jessica Jones' character. I'm going to walk through all of Rabinaster.
Yep.
And I talk to every motherfucker here
fucking person.
because I forget who Who was I supposed to talk to?
Yep. Where do you
The quest doesn't say.
take something somewhere? Yeah. I will say this regarding that twist. It does feel like a disservice in the sense that Alexandra was like an interesting character. I certainly enjoyed Sigourney Weaver's performance, and was interested to see like where that was. I liked that it was kind of splitting her from the rest of the hand. I liked some of the division between them because of what she was trying to accomplish. And that we just abruptly closed that chapter to yet again explore Elektra's sort of tendency toward the dark side, but really she's got a little light side in her. I mean, it's something we already saw this in season 2 of Daredevil, and we're kind of rehashing this same arc at the end of the Defenders. That's definitely a step down.
It didn't do anything for me, because part of it's like, well, I think Matt might have been like, why are you doing this? And then she's like,
yeah,
because we're meant to be together like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, how, no, this isn't a Joker Batman weird fucking ending. The answer is, I'm doing it because I'm, chock full of the crazy sauce.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm a wildly irrational human being.
So, I mean, I get it. I just have to point out that because of the decision that she made, we got to see more Elektra. So that's I'm just saying.
I have decided that I love fighting you so much that I want to die in a hole in New York City with you.
I'm not sure how many people would say no to that.
I don't know.
I get it. I'm just saying I get it. I understand.
So I had some issues with the consistency of her character, because she basically, I don't know. She's like all the time up to that, like, am I more than the black sky?
Yeah.
Am I?
Yeah.
Who is this Elektra? Why?
Yeah.
Why do I feel this feeling for Matt Murdock,
Yeah.
for Daredevil? And like, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to like smell his underwear and all the weird shit that she's doing. And then she's just like, nope, fuck it.
Yeah.
I want to be immortal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's,
I can't, I don't.
I want to be immortal.
I
So
can't
let's
really-
go die in a hole.
Which,
She might as well be one of those religious zealots in your X-Men comic books who have no plan.
Oh yeah, those people are fucking crazy, but none of them are Elektra. So
If they were Elektra,
if they were Elektra, I would probably understand them better.
you're like, yeah, death to mutants.
I'd be like, yeah, no,
whatever.
I get it. Now I get
I've
it.
been reading this comic book for a long time, but now that you put it like that,
Yep, you persuaded me. I'm on the other side. Fuck mutants.
Cyclops was wrong. Elektra was right.
If anyone could get me to say that, it's
So I felt like she was a little inconsistent. There was some,
yeah.
I feel like most of the main characters were within the realm of their own series, but I feel like Karen Page generally just pisses me off as a character.
Yeah.
And she's like, maybe Daredevil did do good things.
Yeah.
Maybe you should consider. And then next time we see her, it's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you're going to do it again.
I know.
And this is how you tell me?
I know.
Have you already done it?
I know.
And you're just like, where did this come from?
Right.
And then she gets all emotional and upset. She's like, yeah, you should totally do it. And she shows up to support him. And you're just like,
Yeah. So I will point out.
could we have one female character that isn't written like a basket case?
So I think Foggy is a little bit the same way, and I do feel like the biggest issue with Daredevil, even though it is such a strong show, Both of those seasons are just phenomenal. Its biggest weakness, I think, is that it so often relies on both Karen and Foggy to basically be foils for Daredevil, to give him something to be conflicted about, like his own desire to go be Daredevil, but his loved ones who don't want him to put himself in harm's way, and get all pissed off, and it just destroys the relationship between him and Karen, and him and Foggy. And Karen, I think what makes that more annoying is that those two, it's clearly intended that there is supposed to be some sort of romantic interest, and they have just zero chemistry with each other. They're completely uninteresting on screen when they're both together. There's nothing, I don't understand what they see in each other, really. And I just don't think there's anything to grab onto. It's a little like watching Edward Norton and Liv Tyler in The Incredible Hulk, where you're just like, it feels, I don't know, it's not right. It's just not, it doesn't work, I don't think.
To be completely fair, we will address the elephant in the room, and that is that Karen Page and Matt Murdock start their relationship basically at the same time that it's like Elektra and Daredevil, will they, won't they?
Yeah.
And that's because you're, whether you want to admit it or not, you are making that comparison between Elektra and Karen Page, and you're choosing Elektra. And you're right.
You are right.
In this case.
That's the right call. Well, all right. I'm not going to just go ahead and continue.
So, but I agree. I think both of those characters are too emotional. I think the far more interesting foil and the far more interesting conflict with Daredevil, particularly since he is Daredevil, or the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, is Matt Murdock struggling with his own conscience.
Yeah.
About, I am out there and I am just beating people to within an inch of their life and strangling them and throwing them off of buildings. And, you know, I set a ninja on fire.
Yeah.
All this stuff. and then him trying to put it aside.
Yeah.
And then he feels really guilty about not helping people.
Yeah.
And I like actually the scenes where he's like he can hear somebody in trouble and he's just like, I gotta do something. I gotta, please, somebody. And then he hears, you know, it get broken up and he's just like, you know, thank God.
Yeah.
But like, that's way more interesting than Foggy giving some, I thought we were friends, man.
Yeah.
Whatever speech.
How do you lie to me? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Anyway. And so that speaks to the thing we discussed earlier a little bit about basically the relative acting chops between our four defenders here. And I think part of the disadvantage that Mike Coulter and Finn Jones are experiencing is that, I mean, Jessica Jones and Daredevil are more interesting characters. They're better written, and they're more interesting because they actually have some sense of inner conflict that you can sort of understand and that you can be sympathetic to. Like, what makes Daredevil an interesting character is his desire to be the hero and his desire to help those in need, but this kind of sick thing that he has inside him, that he's attracted to the violence. I mean, it's as clear as day that there's a part of him that just likes beating up on these people, that likes disabling them, that likes doling out this kind of hardcore fucking punishment, and that he struggles with that he struggles with his sense of enjoyment of that a little bit. That's part of what makes him interesting, and it's what becomes sort of exemplified in his confessions in the church and everything. So like, there's part of him that just like, that's a human being. It just makes it feel more like a human being. Whereas in contrast, you have somebody like Luke Cage, who is practically invulnerable and just wants to do good and doesn't see, but there doesn't seem to be anything like there's nothing kind of broken about him. Like both Daredevil and Jessica Jones are kind of broken characters, and that's what makes them feel human. And it's something that Luke Cage and Iron Fist, who's just unlikable. Luke Cage, I think there's nothing like. He's just I just want to be a good guy. I just want to be a good guy and want to help everybody for free, and that's it. It's like, well, that's great, but I mean, really? that's everything there is. Like, that's 100% of Luke Cage's character. There's not a lot of meat there.
I don't know, cause like, okay, like the hardest scene for me to watch, and I do think that they recovered from this actually pretty well, but it was like the first talkie scene between Luke Cage and Iron Fist, and it was just like, it was really cringe, and it was really poorly written. and like, if there was something for each of the characters to learn, it was that Luke Cage needs to be less racist, and that that fucking Iron Fist needs to get his head screwed on straight, and he should maybe look at the world in a little bit more complex manner than hand bad. But I want to briefly go into this because that scene really bothered me.
I was watching it and I was thinking of you.
So at some point, Luke Cage makes the assertion that, like, you shouldn't have thrown a black kid into a wall. And you're like, well, what difference does it make what color he is? I don't understand why you would think that treating someone differently based on the color of their skin is anything other than racist. So, and then it's just mind-boggling. It's like, well, how did you become the Iron Fist? Well, my plane crashed and I got to watch my parents die. And 2 seconds later, Luke Cage is like, that's because you're privileged. And you're like, the fuck is happening here? Well, you had the privilege, so you were on a plane and you got to watch your parents die. Or, if you were, a black kid in the hood, you wouldn't have been on a plane. And it's just like, I think you're missing it, man. I think it's still, his parents died and he went to a shitty place where people beat him for years until he became this unlovable asshole who just loves violence.
Yeah. Against the hand.
And I have never been convinced of, I mean, like, I know why you think of that, because like when someone says privilege to me, like, I have never been convinced that living in a shanty town in backwoods Kentucky or West Virginia is so much better than living in the hood. You certainly have a pretty similar amount of upward social economic mobility. You probably have almost no educational opportunities in either place. They're both just ridiculously poor, awful places to live. And it's just, I don't know how you say to somebody, just because of the color of your skin, or just because of your sexuality, or that you relate to a gender that actually exists, or whatever it is, that you somehow have got, the golden ticket in life. Like, it goes back to Bill Burr. Don't tell me your shit sandwich tastes worse than my shit sandwich.
So I feel like there's a lot there to unpack. I don't really remember that scene all that well. I kind of doubt the authenticity of Tactic Angel's summary, but I mean, I think it was clear that the general thrust of it was he's a fucking rich white kid.
To be fair,
and is taking out all of his problems on
mischaracterizing the scene, but it does move very quickly from I got to watch my parents die to you are privileged.
Yeah,
and it's just
it
like,
does.
Stop being an asshole, man.
Well, he is an obnoxious rich little bitch. who doesn't seem to have any understanding of the resources that he has at his fingers, and still has this kind of extremely self-centered authoritarian point of view as to like the nature of right and wrong. And right is, let me attack the shit out of this fucking black kid who I mean, Cage's point is it's totally fucking reasonable in the sense that he is just a fucking kid who got a job and is trying to fucking make money for his mom. Like, that's a totally reasonable point.
Yes, but there's absolutely no realization on Luke Cage's part that he is also a violent authoritarian.
Well, he is a little bit. He's less so than than fucking Iron Fist, who has no idea what he's running into the middle of. And just executes whatever he wants to do. And that's consistent all throughout the first season of fucking Iron Fist, which is just, it continues to be so annoying. Like how he just walks into Colleen's own class and fucking takes over and decides to start teaching everybody what he thinks is the fucking right way to do kung fu. Like, it's all over the place where he just asserts his own fucking will on whatever situation he's in. He is right. Everyone else is wrong. It's in this show too. We want to hide you from the fucking
I'm not
hand.
arguing with it.
I don't want to.
I just, it's an argument that isn't easy to address because the person that I would have to argue, like if I were to try to argue Luke Cage was the same way, it wouldn't be possible because Luke Cage doesn't have to worry about what he's rushing into. He can slowly saunter in and throw refrigerators at people and blow up entire buildings. Yeah. And it's like, well, at least he did it like slowly and what appears to be dispassionately.
He has a decent idea. Yeah. He assesses the situation.
I don't know that he assesses it because he walks in at one point. Doesn't he show up at a place and he's like, I want some information. The guy's like, fuck you. And then they just beat the shit out of that kid. And then they're like, okay, I'll give you some information. I feel like I remember that.
He does that with what's his face? The guy who is the informant in every one of these fucking shows. That one dude who runs guns. Yeah, but that makes sense because that guy is a piece of shit and everybody knows that. Like, I mean, we've had fucking like what 5 shows now with that dude being a piece of shit.
I'm gonna jump here a little bit. But did you feel like the Hands plot was a little like, what are they trying to do?
It made sense to me, right? They want to open up the fucking Iron Fist wall to get to the dragon bones, to harvest the dragon bones so that everybody can live forever.
Right.
And then
I got that too.
It blows up New York.
Wait.
It fucks
yeah,
up
that's the part I didn't get. How does New York blow up in this plan?
So my understanding is that the entire foundation of Manhattan rests on the bones of that dragon.
Wow.
that's my understanding. So take those bones away, Manhattan just fucking sinks into the earth, I guess.
So in like 350 years, when they managed to mine a dragon the size of Long Island.
Yeah.
Nobody's noticed this when they build skyscrapers into bedrock before.
No.
But, okay.
Well, he's
as long as we got all these. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Just a hair deeper than that.
Just a little bit. It's like 20 feet into the bedrock. Yeah. Holy shit, it's a dragon.
Like, fuck, man, if I dug 20 more feet.
Yeah, I would have been able to live forever. And I got to been on the cover of National Geographic too, so that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. Yeah, too bad for that guy.
Quitters never win. Okay, so whatever. I just did not understand. It's like, I get the wanting to live forever. I just don't understand. We destroyed Chernobyl, and it's like, well, I understand. Think I understand how Chernobyl got destroyed. I guess maybe it's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was a little bit fuzzy on that going into the last couple episodes. It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm paying attention. I was just like watching it with my dog. So I had relatively little distraction. It's just like, what is happening? Why has nothing happened for the last 3 episodes?
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Murdock, can I play your piano? It's like, fucking no, weirdo.
Yeah.
You want to play my dead dad's piano?
Yeah. Whatever, though. I was a little disappointed that they sidelined everybody for a long... Like, Colleen, they sidelined her for a long time, and
she
Rosario
shows up in a
Dawson,
parking
that was a
garage and
little
like,
annoying.
oh, you're here.
Yeah. I do want to carry a sword around the city, like she does. I think
Yeah,
that's
pretty sure
awesome.
that's illegal.
It should be legal. I think we have open carry in Arizona, I'm pretty sure. Can't tell me
You
that I
can't
can
carry around
a
a
fucking...
blade longer than 5 inches in most states.
That's bullshit. Fucking, that's my Second Amendment right. Don't tread
that
on me,
guy's got a
Tactic
gun, so I have a claymore.
Right? Those should be just as legal, I think.
I guess.
Maybe if I say
I
I'm
don't
part
know.
of a militia and I show up to a fucking Trump rally with a goddamn katana on my back and explain to everybody, listen, I'm just here to keep the peace. It'll be okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, 25 times as many people throw rocks at an Indian congressional candidate who's clearly a white supremacist.
I'm just gonna watch. I'm just gonna stand by and watch with my katana.
Uh-huh. You can be an oath keeper
That'd be
with
awesome.
a sword.
That'd be cool as hell.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's a little off topic. Yeah. Man, there's so much that I want to bitch about. There was part of me that like smirked a little, that like for me the biggest thing that probably happened in this entire thing is like Misty Knight got her arm cut off.
Oh,
You're like,
yeah.
That's because Misty Knight's arm is a robo
Yeah,
arm.
she gets a robot arm. That's cool.
Yeah. That makes me
Probably-
like her even more.
Because of the hospital that she's in that Danny Rand owns, apparently. And they're gonna give her a robot arm, I bet.
Robo arm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's gonna become cybernetic police lady with huge tits.
Yeah. Yeah. Distractingly large.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like if you had to hop into action, would you be able to
I
run?
don't know. I'll have to lock all that down, I guess, beforehand. But
Right?
yeah.
Just kind of looking like you're dressing sassy
Yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah. Which is effective.
Whatever.
But
Yeah. I like Misty Knight.
me too.
She's a little bit inconsistently written.
Yeah, a little. And I wish they I don't know. I just wish that they gave her a little bit more to do, or maybe the police
Yeah.
a little bit more to do, or could find a way to use the police in a show that's not just like you guys are in the fucking way.
Yeah, I hope that in Luke Cage season 2 she plays a much bigger part. But she shows up at the end and it's like, you've got about a minute before the full force of the NYPD comes down on you.
Yeah.
So how long do you want me to stall them? You're like,
I think now
wow,
she's
that
on
was,
board.
I guess,
Instead of being
I
up
guess that
her
was
ass about it.
a little bit less out of left field than Elektra murdering someone that I
At
thought
least
was central
Elektra's
to the plot.
crazy, which is
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been just hoping that they kill fucking Iron Fist, because then Colleen Wing and Misty Knight can start their little detective agency and we can have that show, and that would be better, because that would be way better than Iron Fist season 2.
Is Colleen Wing an actual character?
Yeah. They have a detective agency. Misty
Really?
Knight. Yeah, they do in the comics. I don't know if they still do, but they
How do
definitely
I
did.
know? How do I know that Misty Knight has a robo arm, but I don't know that Colleen is a real character?
Probably because you are racist against Asian people, but not black people.
That seems really unlikely.
It's the privilegedness of your black people. It's the robot thing, I think. It's just if there's robot anything involved, Tactic Angel knows about it. If it's
How
human
far
being
off
stuff,
the rails can the
Tactic Angel
Defenders
doesn't know about
review
human
get?
being stuff. So
I don't know. Colleen's pretty hot.
I want
I'm
to carry
pretty
the sword.
pretty into that. And this sword doesn't hurt.
No, the sword is cool. And I wish, I don't know. I wish they would give her more to do. I was really pissed that Bakuto was one of the hand people because he sucked and he still sucks.
I was
But at least
I was
like,
just
she got to kill it.
annoyed when he showed up again.
Yep, me too.
It's like, is this going to be it? It's just going to be soap opera. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, the third time you killed me.
I know.
Are we going to get Daddy Meacham back too?
Yeah.
Because
No.
God, I hope not.
Yeah. Oh, but Stick, that was really sad. That Stick got killed.
Yeah,
That
but
was
he's
a-
like 104.
Yeah, but I was still like, that sucks. I really appreciated when the South African hand guy captured Danny Rand and was like threatening to kill him and almost got away, and Stick just beheaded him before. That was great.
I
That
had a
was-
feeling that you thought it was great.
because I was like,
I thought of you in that
that's
moment.
how you make a decision. That's how you act decisively.
Yeah, you don't run.
Yeah, it's effective. Now he's dead. Now he's not a problem. Good job. Everybody wins in this. Like, that's a plus.
So I guess the box that they put you in can't regenerate you a whole body. I feel like
I
they were
guess not.
taking
Yeah.
some risks in mailing his head back. Also, mailing
Yeah.
people a head seems slightly unheroic.
It does a little bit. But then you're like, well, it's probably Stick. I mean, you know, he bought the postage for that. He probably did that under the table a little bit. It's like, they're just like, what happened to the head? And Stick's like, don't worry about it. And that's, you know.
Stick shows up. He's still wearing the bloody thing. He's got a stump for an arm. And it's like, sir, have you inspected the package? And he says like, I haven't seen it. And you're like, oh, that's funny. And now the guy feels like an asshole because of the disability.
Yeah. That was awesome, though, when he cut off his fucking hand to fight and then escape.
Yeah,
I actually really enjoyed Stick in this series. I think more than I have in Daredevil.
Yeah, maybe he had a good end.
He did.
I think that it's good that there can be consequences, and maybe that's the reason why I get annoyed that I didn't like Bakuta the first time.
No.
I certainly didn't think he redeemed himself in any meaningful way in this.
No.
I was actually probably more consistently annoyed that he was there. And it, whatever.
Yeah.
He's all chirping up Colleen the whole time. It's like, you're going to be my apprentice. And you're like, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah. I'm glad. I don't, man. God, they need to extract Colleen Wing from fucking Iron Fist. And the writers of that show and anybody who has anything to do. Oh, okay. So I hate Trish. I hate fucking Trish, and I still hate her in this. I still hated her.
I like
I
Trish.
fucking hate her. I was so like
I
she
like
just
Trish in this.
she annoys the
She
shit
hardly
out of
did
me.
anything.
She's so annoing. She just
Here's the thing.
she's so eager.
She's up against
and obnoxious.
Karen Page again and Foggy. And then like she's way better than that.
No, she sucks way worse than them. Way worse. Cause she's like, I tried to float the earthquake story as though it was a cover up for something else, and I got shut down. I tried to float this story based on nothing. Based on because I think. And they shut me down probably because it is actually a conspiracy. And you're like, you're the fucking problem. You're part of the fucking problem. You're the worst.
Trish is
Just
great.
the worst person. So fucking annoying. I don't like her at all.
Then she's
But
gonna be Hellcat.
so here's what I will say this. At the last episode, when they're watching the door and they see, like, you know, Cage come through, Jessica Jones come through, the door and Foggy and Karen don't see Matt come through the door.
It's a good moment.
I had to fight something. I don't know. I had to keep it down a little bit. I had to fight something
Really?
back down into the guts where it belongs. Just a little bit. I thought that was a really good scene.
It was a good scene. It was a good scene. I agree. I liked it. I thought it was that really like aggressively long shot of the empty door.
Yeah. That was, yeah. You're like, fuck.
I think everybody at that point was like, fuck. It was the best part.
You cannot kill the best thing in the entire Yeah.
Man, I can't wait for Daredevil-less Defenders season 2,
Woo!
where the entire thing's like, hey babe, we should really get together again. And you should do what I say because I'm Danny Rand.
I have to kill the hand. Are there still hand? I have to kill the hand. Maybe if there are no hand, he will just kill himself. And he can finally be done.
Punch himself right in the face.
That would be amazing. I fulfilled all my duties. Boom.
Do a shot-for-shot remake of the end of Terminator 2. No, there's one more chip. Except,
why? More. Great stuff.
you have to lower me into the steel. I cannot self-terminate. Like, yo, this is so sad.
It was really sad. God damn it.
Play the theme super slow. People don't fucking understand when I say at work that as a man, you're not supposed to cry. And if you do cry, the only times that it's permissible is if you are alone, it is dark, and no one can see you.
Yeah.
Done.
Man, Danny
And,
Rand
like,
has never
movies-
heard that.
Movies like The Lion King, when Mufasa dies, or Terminator 2, when he has to lower him into the steel. Those movies are so emotionally resonant that it's just like, just can't keep it in. Just like, I gotta look away.
Oh God, it makes so much sense. Because the Terminator
He
is
was
a
like
robot.
He was like the father. He would never hit him. He would never do anything. They have a whole monologue that tells you just what a great fucking robo-dad he is.
Yeah. That's such a good movie.
I
can't believe James
I was
Cameron
wrong.
made that movie.
I was wrong about the Terminator, this Terminator, because in the next scene, I'm going to go try to assassinate a black guy in his house.
Yeah. That's the right thing to do, by the way. She was fucking right.
Context matters here, listeners. Midget Radio is not advocating actual violence. But if you have foreknowledge of a man who's going to invent a robot that will wipe out humanity, maybe it is okay.
Pretty reasonable call, feels like. But
It may not be the right thing to do,
No.
but it may be the better of
but
two
definitely
bad
the
things to
pragmatic thing to do.
do. Pragmatic, probably.
Oh, good stuff.
Completely off of the
Oh,
rails.
Sarah Connor. Another just amazing fucking decision maker.
Sarah Connor was rescued out of an insane asylum,
Yeah.
and she acts more consistently rational than basically every female character in the Defenders, with the possible exception
Ugh.
of Jessica Jones.
And the night nurse, Claire Temple. Rosario
I
Dawson.
guess she
Who's amazing always.
so
Always.
like on the subject of people just disappearing, it felt like she disappeared for 3
It
episodes.
did, and it's really they just kept her in that fucking police station, and it's a little irritating to me that the Luke Cage's girlfriend thing has, like, it kind of pisses me off a little bit that she has to now play concerned girlfriend as well, because she's a good, she is generally a good, like, rational center. She's kind of an everyman type character for a lot of these shows, particularly in Daredevil, where she can kind of snidely comment on the absurdity of the situation that she's in, and still, you know, do the right thing and all of that, because she's extremely likable and extremely relatable. I don't really like having to see her as, well, now she has to be doting girlfriend a little bit too. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, and it's also a little off-putting that, like, that Luke Cage is constantly like, how you doing?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
all right, one or the other, buddy.
Yeah.
One or the other. Kind of feels like you're doing one of these two ladies a disservice.
It's weird.
I like them both.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm kind of like, listen, you do what you want, but I mean, Claire Temple, right? Rosario Dawson. There's a fucking line there. Like, you do what you want, but not to her. So, just saying, man. Show some fucking respect, Rosario Dawson.
I do agree. I would show both of them respect.
I would like to see an end to the coffee jokes. I want to be done with the coffee jokes. I think they've been made enough. I get it, and I'm ready to move past those.
Yeah. I don't know. So tell me, since my opinion is that pretty much not a whole lot worth talking about happened between episode 3 and episode 6. Tell me how I'm wrong.
I don't know. I don't remember what happened in those episodes. I think it was basically just, did they have Danny tied up at that time? I don't fucking remember.
At some point. Yeah.
And then yeah, Jessica and Matt, I guess, kind of working the case a little bit to figure out where to go.
Which was a lot of walking and talking to the same people that they've already talked to.
Yeah.
And playing
Which, I
the
mean,
piano.
I'm generally okay with. I guess, like, I would have liked to have seen these relationships a little bit, like, explored a little bit more, I guess, if anything. Because I feel like, as much as I enjoyed the interactions between Jessica and Matt, I don't really feel like there was much there. Like, they did, like, there wasn't enough. They didn't. There, I don't know where they stand with each other.
They're not connecting on an emotional level.
Yeah,
they're just,
which is fine, but
they're very quippy.
I'd like to see, I'd like to see maybe a little bit more content there, and the same between Danny and Luke, because I actually kind of like, they can have the kind of political conversation that sets off Tactic Angel a little bit. That's fine, but, like, to overcome that a little bit and to try to develop a kind of human relation, because the only thing that's going to humanize fucking Danny Rand is going to be Luke Cage. I think he's the best shot at that, because I don't understand what the fuck Colleen sees in him. And she's way too nice to him. So it would be nice if Luke was kind of a foil for him a little bit. A kind of grow the fuck up, you piece of shit. I'd like to see that dynamic.
So I think it's probably a combination of she likes his kung fu, and
she doesn't have a choice, and the writing is so bad. That's what it is, that she doesn't have a choice.
And it hangs around his ankles. I don't know. I don't know. I think so. I should say, because I did complain about that pretty vociferously. I do like the moments in both the bar, not the bar, it's the Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
And kind of later, also when they're fighting in the office, the way that they do address that, like, they're willing to see each other halfway, sort of thing. I like some of that. I don't feel like there was enough of it, but I do like the ability to forgive and the ability to work past these issues, because I think that's probably a good thing that a lot of people that I have observed on the internet need to learn how to do.
Well, yeah, I've become increasingly convinced that the internet is in fact an accurate representation of society, but
I feel like I might have to say the internet may be a net loss for humanity at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I'd argue against that. I don't think I'd argue against that. There's a small piece of me that holds on to the hope, a sort of slight optimistic sliver that I'm willing to look at from time to time, that believes that these are growing pains, that the internet is in fact still a new thing for us culturally, and at a certain point we will get over the horse shit. But it will take a lot more growing, and we'll probably be fucking dead before we see that happen. But
yeah, I think evolutionarily that is such a large jump. Well, it's like you have all of human social interaction working more or less the same until the invention of the telephone.
Yeah.
And then that a little bit, but like, if I want to be an asshole to you, I have to know your phone number, and you probably know who I am when I call you and are like,
yeah,
I think that your political beliefs are terrible, so I want to kill you.
Yeah. Because you are wrong on a fundamental level. You are
very
wrong.
and irredeemable.
Irredeemable, yeah.
There is no way that I can talk to you. I can't be
impossible.
your friend.
It's impossible.
Just gotta,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
Just, and then you get to the internet, and it's like, no matter how marginal your opinion on anything is.
Yeah.
I actually saw a really great meme about, I think it was about sexual fetishists.
Oh, okay.
And it was like, but it's true, and you can almost apply it to anything. And it was like, I think there was like a picture of a woman who was in a bathtub who was mostly submerged in spaghetti.
Oh yeah, okay.
And it was
That's mine actually. Electra submerged in spaghetti. I don't know how I would react.
Pass. But I think it said something like, no matter what it is, someone else is into it, and they're on the internet or something like that.
Yeah.
And and you can apply that to any opinion, any political belief, any sexual fetish, any whatever. And it's gonna be true.
Yeah.
And it was a really funny photo.
Yeah.
Photo. Really off the rails.
Yeah.
Whew. What's the subject today?
Daredevil season 3.
I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Also, Punisher.
Yeah. Punisher.
Whew.
Holy shit, I'm ready.
Here's the thing.
I thought there was going to be a cameo, and there was no cameo. I was a little
not really. No. So like, there was a part of me that was like, okay, they're going to blow up the building. And I'm like, this would be a perfect time for the Punisher to step in and actually kind of take credit.
Yeah.
Because he's already a bad guy.
Yeah, that would be cool. I could see that. Yeah.
And then that didn't happen. And there was actually a part of me sometime when I was in I hope not season, but episode 5 or 6, that I'm like, all right, we keep getting into these pointless fist fights that some of them feel sort of routine, and it's just like, just have them punch at each other and whatever, we'll cut it together. And I'm like, Man, I hope the Punisher shows up and just finishes this season off. What happens? The hand is talking. Elektra's standing behind Sigourney Weaver, and they're all just talking. And then all of a sudden, Punisher kicks in the door, and they're like, "Who the fuck are you? You're not in this plot." And he's like, "I don't care." Season over.
That would be pretty amazing. I wonder what would happen if the Punisher and Elektra met. If he was just like, "Well, I like to put bullets in skulls," and she's like, "Well, I like to slit throats." I feel like we could accomplish a lot together. I mean, I just feel like
the thing is about the Punisher, he does have a very strong moral compass.
He does. Just killing, because
isn't really his thing.
No.
And even when he killed a person who completely deserved it, just that's one of my favorite scenes of season 2 Daredevil, when he's in the hospital and he's just completely choked up that he killed this guy's dad.
Yeah.
And he had never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
And he's just like, this guy's 100% scumbag, but
Yeah.
I took away that kid's father.
Yeah.
And like that was kind of like the emotional center that you get from the Punisher. And that's going to clash with your Elektra fetish, because
I love
I should say your spaghetti fetish, because I feel like he's going to be like, bitch, you crazy.
Whatever. I think he would see her pragmatic usefulness in his mission, because she's quite effective.
Well, I don't know. I
God,
don't
I
know.
love
I'm really
Elektra.
looking forward to it. I am going to be sad if they can't figure out how to fill 13 episodes worth of the Punisher killing people that I want to see him kill.
I know. Well, I'm hoping. So I was also encouraged by the end of this series when Jessica enters her apartment and closes the door, and the glass is repaired. Yeah, it says Alias Investigations, and you're like, all right, season 2. Private investigation.
This is actually a question that I did have written down somewhere. I'm not sure I have it written down in front of me though. Like, I felt like, so right now we're in what some people consider the golden age of long form story format on television.
Yeah, I can see that.
I kind of feel that the strict adherence to the long form storytelling, which you see in pretty much every version of the Marvel Netflix thing, I feel like it's kind of hurting the naturally episodic nature of both someone like Jessica Jones' chosen career and also comic books in general.
Yes.
And
I would agree with
like,
that.
If you can do like a couple of one-offs, or look back at when long form storytelling started, and though it's not a great example, because by far I consider the long form of this particular series to be some of the weaker stuff that happens, but if you go back to the X-Files, they would do like, weird shit, Mulder's sister,
Yeah.
weird shit, something else, I don't know, Mulder, smoking gunman, etc.
Yeah.
And they would go through different things.
Yeah.
And like, that was good because it wasn't, we have to get the Zindi. We have to get the Zindi.
Yeah.
We have to get the Zindi.
Jesus Christ. We're every day. Every
And the
fucking
hand for-
day.
And the hand feels very much like the Zindi for me, because I'm not really all that interested. And if you can't kill them, it makes them, I mean, like, think about it. We've had to suffer through all of Iron Fist, which was just abject suffering by the end of it.
Yeah.
And like, they're not even that interesting in when they show up in Daredevil. So
I don't know. I like Nobu and I love
They're
ninjas.
they're not
so-
they're not the best parts because I'd much rather watch Fisk. I would much rather watch.
Well,
Fisk.
God, that's Jesus Christ. Yes, that's totally unfair, though. Vincent D'Onofrio is a fucking powerhouse on screen. He's amazing in that role. That's totally unfair. That's totally unfair. The Hand is interesting. They are interesting. Of course, they do not approach Vincent D'Onofrio levels of just magnetic, all-consuming screen presence. But I still like them. I like them more than fucking Kilgrave. Holy shit.
Yeah, Mr. Hansy isn't our best villain. There's a part of me that was also thinking about this because I was bored with several of the episodes. It's like it is a good thing that these characters have very little to do with the MCU.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I could accept the Hand existing in the same breath as like sorcerers.
Yeah.
And then whatever bad guy, what is his name? And that you're like, well, he's got an evil empire, a magic Far East evil empire, and they have an evil empire, which is also a magic Far East evil empire. Are there any others? Well, the Chaste.
Yeah.
They're not evil, but they have a magic empire.
They do have a magic, yeah.
And they're part of Kunlun, but not really,
Yeah.
which is a magic place that has an army at least.
Yeah.
It's like there's too much overlap here.
Yeah.
And then
Well, that's the
and
Marvel
then Hydra,
universe.
and then Hydra.
Those are the comics.
What other all-consuming world? Let's not even get into the anti-mutant thing.
The X-Men have always essentially been separate, I feel like, and it's always best when they are.
and then sometimes not.
Whenever they're
And then you have the Inhumans,
they get
and they have a magic underground empire.
well.
And you have
That's wrong, but they live on
Then
the
you
fucking
have-
moon, or at least they
they
used
do.
to. And
There
then
you
they lived kind of around Manhattan, and then now they're in space, I think.
It's kind of like the School for Gifted Youth. It's either in the country, it's on an island
Yeah.
that is Atlantis, risen from the sea, or it is in the middle of Central Park, or possibly elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like putting it in the middle of Central Park is a very ballsy decision.
I still don't understand it, and yeah, it doesn't really make. I don't know, man. It just seems like a weird, why. I still don't understand really why. It just seems like it would invite so many more problems than
Right?
anything else. Just put it back in Westchester. Everybody knows how to get to it. Central Park,
Yeah.
man. Jesus Christ, especially at night. You want a bunch of teenagers in Central Park at night? Come on.
Yes, there are several things that they may have overlooked.
I don't understand it, Tactic Angel, but Kitty is a great leader for the. I love seeing. Oh my god, it just makes me so happy to see her, Professor K, leading the X-Men. It makes me cry a little bit, but only when I'm by myself in the dark.
Oh, well, part of it is you probably shouldn't tell anybody about it either.
Maybe that too.
Like, you look at Clint Eastwood. Has Clint Eastwood ever cried? No.
Oh, wow.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
I mean, he's done some
Probably.
movie, like, he did that movie with a monkey. But I guess
He might have
hasn't
pretended to
cried.
cry, but he has never cried. Those boats ain't gonna buy themselves.
That's true. What are we talking about? The Defenders?
No. I feel like we're pretty well done with this.
Yeah, I think we probably are too.
All right. We will call that episode number 30 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. Please, 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 begging, give us a like if you've enjoyed our video and subscribe to our channel.
Wow, are we begging now? Have we
Begging.
stooped that low?
Begging, we are begging. You can also find us on Twitter at WNG_MME_OPC, or you can head on over to Facebook, where pretty much you just have to type in Wednesday Night Gentlemen. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you on episode number 31 of this extraordinarily long name podcast.